CNN producer Rose Arce on the streets of New York. She's joining us by telephone. Rose, can you hear me?
Yes, I can, Judy.
What are you seeing? Tell us where you are.
I am about 2 blocks north of where the World Trade Center used to be standing, and I'm surrounded by firefighters who are just watching helplessly, sound almost like an explosion sound, and another chunk of it will come flying down into the street, creating a situation
to the building.
I'd say the closest people are probably about 2 blocks north of there, just in front of where I am. I spoke to a firefighter a few minutes ago that said that he had to stand there and watch helplessly as at least a dozen people leapt from the upper floors of this building during a fire.
And Rose, where, again, you are how close to what's going on here?
I'm about, I'd say about 2.5 blocks north of the World Trade Center, and enormous pieces of debris just falling one right after the other. And as I said, firefighters a lot of them are just standing here helpless.
The police were just desperately trying to get people evacuated out of the immediate area. I mean, clearly fearing that the World Trade Center Twin Towers would collapse, and indeed they were proved right. And another building next to the World Trade Center has also collapsed. But I haven't been able to listen to the local stations. I'm afraid the local television stations are running this in very American style as a drama.
In Lower Manhattan, Alan.
Aaron, just 2 or 3 minutes ago, there was yet another collapse or explosion. I'm now out of sight. A Good Samaritan has taken me in on Duane Street. But at 11:15, there was another collapse or explosion following the 10:30 collapse of the second tower. And a firefighter who rushed by us estimated that 50 stories went down. The street filled with smoke. It was like a forest fire roaring down a canyon. Now, as I think
Rose Arce, one of our producers here in New York, joins us on the phone. Rose, what do you have that's new?
Yes, just a while ago, I think you saw that collapse of the top of the World Trade Center. Well, it looks like a large chunk of that debris has hit a building very close by, about 2 blocks away, next to an elementary school, causing another explosion. So for the last few minutes, I've been watching people running almost like snow. So as people are coming up the street, running from the scene of this new explosion, you can see them slipping on the ash.
Michael Hess, who is the city's corporation counsel. Mr. Hess, you were trapped in, I believe, 7 World Trade Center. Go ahead, sir.
Yes, I was. I was up in the emergency management center on the 23rd floor, and when all the power went out in the building, another gentleman and I walked down to the 8th floor where there was an explosion, and we've been trapped on the 8th floor with smoke, thick smoke all around us for about an hour and a half. But the New York Fire Department, as terrific as they are, I was trapped in 7 World Trade Center for the last hour and a half.
Thank you very much. That's Michael Hess. He is the city corporation counsel who was trapped over by 7 World Trade Center. This is Frank Uciardo reporting live from Lower Broadway right now.
Mr. Hess! What floor? What?
8th floor.
8th floor, 7 World Trade. 7. Get it all the way up.
I come in the building to look for 2 of my people. My car's still operating. We were up to 44. The building was partially collapsing again.
Barry Jennings, you were on the 8th floor. You work for the City Housing Department. Explain to me the moment of impact.
Well, me and Mr. Hess, the corporation counsel, were on the 23rd floor. I told him we got to get out of here. We started walking down the stairs. We made it to the 8th floor. Big explosion. Blew us back into the 8th floor. And I turned to Hess. I said, this is it. We're dead. We're not going to make it out of here. I took a fire extinguisher and I bust the window out. That's when this gentleman here heard my cries for help. This gentleman right here. And he said, kept saying.
We now have a report perhaps of another building here in New York that has collapsed. CNN producer Rose Arce is on the phone. Rose, what can you tell us?
Yes, there's another building very close to the World Trade Center that was hit by debris some time ago, and it appears to be on the verge of collapse. Also, that enormous plume of smoke that you see that's surrounding the building, there are suspicions that it's not all smoke, but that there is a gas leak within that smoke. And that has caused it to rise many, many blocks from the site of the actual explosion, where they now are fearing that there may be yet another explosion because of this potential gas leak.
Keep your eye on that building. It'll be coming down.